just want to talk to my white friends. Um, First of all, I want to say thank you very much for all that my white friends have done to address this topic. I know there are a lot of you who have protested and you have stood in solidarity with all the different people who have been out there. You have stood in solidarity with Black people to help people that are Black, people of color. The reason I use the term Black so regularly is because when racism was instituted in America, when this whole concept was begun, it was a matter of Black and white. But back then, when people were being racist outwardly and very obviously, their attitude was, if you have one drop of blood, you're Black. And I know there are people who are clearly Black, and there are people who are mixed, and people who can even pass for white, as we would say. And so this applies to everybody. And if you are a white person in America, what can you do? First thing, I would like to get to a point where I can bring up this topic and I don't have to be concerned about a white person feeling uncomfortable. And I think there's a lot to be said about that issue, because the fact that you feel uncomfortable is telling you something. What is it telling you? What kind of fear does it conjure up? What kind of distress does it bring to you? Because that issue, I believe, as we address that issue, we will be better able to figure out what can be done to help out the whole issue overall. Because right now in America, we have two sides. We have the whites who are part of a system that has been designed to give all the rewards to you. The system from 1865 moving forward all the way to 2020 was designed so that whites could be on top, Blacks could be at the bottom. There's been Black laws or Black law. There's been Jim Crow. Racism is not so much, in my opinion, it's not so much about somebody doesn't like my color. It's more about, we're going to use your color to identify you as the one who does not get the rewards we get. White people get the rewards, Black people get the punishment. And that's really basically how racism works. When I did my first part of my series on simplicity and ugliness of racism, one of the things that I talked about was operant conditioning and classical conditioning. And classical conditioning has to do with how you pair something so that people can get used to seeing it in a certain way and go, okay, whenever I see Black people, I need to be negative, I need to be afraid, I need to run away, I need to secure my belongings. All these different things have been paired with a Black person. When I look at a white person, I can feel safe, I can feel confident, I can feel like I'm going to be okay, that I'm going to be helped, that somebody's going to be nice to me. And that's classical conditioning, where Black people's skin has been paired with negative things. And not just in conversations, but in the media, print, radio, television, everywhere, where you see people that has been done. A white person can be confident, wherever I go, I'm going to get nice treatment. Of course, we know you have family issues, you have job issues, but everybody has that. But on top of what everybody has, a Black person also has to be concerned that wherever they go, somebody's bound to treat them incorrectly or treat them in a very, very negative and painful, or even kill them. When I look at what's happening in America and what has been happening in America for about 155 years, and we can also count slavery, and that would be over 400 years, is that Black people have been mistreated. Black people have had to bear the brunt of the pain of what people go through in America. So I talked about how operant conditioning is a conditioning that says that if you want a behavior to continue, you keep rewarding that behavior. If you want a behavior to discontinue, you need to punish that behavior. That happens all the time at work, at school, at home. Kids get punished. They go, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. In my family, I was the one that got the most punishment because I was always getting into trouble. But anyway, what I'm saying to you is that as a white person, you cannot be silent. Because if you are silent, you are saying, give me the rewards and give the blacks the punishment. Every time you are silent, you are saying, I'm okay with the system. I'm okay with getting all the benefits. I'm okay with getting everything for myself, and I'm okay for being on top. And I'm sure there are people who are saying, yes, that's what I want as a white person. But I know there are a lot of white people in America who are saying, I think we need to have change. But in order for us to have change, it can't just be the black person saying that there's a problem. It can't just be the black person saying we have to protest. You as a white person, you also have to look and say, what can I do, even on a daily basis, to make sure that I am speaking out against this, that I am renouncing this system of oppression. And it's not enough to say, well, I'm not calling anybody any names. I'm not being mean to anyone. I'm just living my life. But you have to realize that the system has been built for you to live a cushy, pleasant life. While it was built for people like myself, my color, to have a very unpleasant, unstable, and a very painful life. And that has been evidenced by what we have seen. So in recent history and also in past history. I saw a video from the 1960s when I went to visit the African American Museum of African American History in DC. And I was shocked, and I shouldn't have been, but I was shocked to see that in that video, they had a mother, a black mother, in the news, and she's saying, when are they going to stop killing our children? When are they going to stop killing our boys? And I was so struck by that. And I said, wow, that was in the 60s. And we're having the same request, the same appeal today. And so I'm saying this cannot continue. We need your help. This is not the time to be silent. In fact, silence is condoning this. When you're silent and you're not actively saying, hey, let me look at this, let me understand this better, something is wrong, and I want to tell my black friends or my even if it's a stranger, I want to tell you I'm understanding what's happening. I want to tell you that I'm trying to step out of my comfort zone that's been set up for me by my ancestors, my forefathers, and understand how my forefathers set up this country so that you would have pain and you would never feel like you're at home. To my white brothers and sisters is that I appreciate you. I love you with God's love. God, I'm a Christian. I'm a person that believes in God, that loves God, that reads the Bible every day. And I know that God created all of us. And I also know from history and from a scientific perspective that black and whites are related. Africa is the birthplace of civilization. All blacks, all humanity started in Africa. And we can all trace our ancestry to one common mother. The DNA is all connected to all of us. So we already know we're related. To not accept that is ludicrous. Every white person who believes in being right and believes in doing the right thing needs to say something, needs to be able to say, you know what? So what is uncomfortable? And I'll tell you why it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable because you really will have to say to yourself that a lot of what I have has been given to me by the system. Not that you're not able to do it, or not that you're lacking any ability or skill, but you were giving a leg up all the way through. You were constantly being moved ahead by the system because the system is built that way. So for you to actually say that, it will affect your emotional makeup, it will affect your confidence, it will affect your security, because you're actually going to have to admit there's a lot of things that I have that were given to me because I'm white. But to not take action, to not say something, is promoting the system. So to summarize and for me to wrap this up, I'm saying to my white friends, and when I say friends, I'm saying every white person in America that wants to see change. I'm saying to you, do not be silent. Say something. Say something openly. Say something to your white friends. If you are uncomfortable with bringing up this topic to your white friends, that should tell you how pervasive racism is. If you feel like, if I bring this up with my friends at this club, if I bring this up with my book club, or if I bring this up with my suburban moms, and they're going to feel uncomfortable, then that should tell you, this is a bigger issue than I thought. So I'm saying, say something. Because I tell you, George Floyd, I'm sure if he heard people saying, hey, what are you doing? Stop doing that. Get off of his neck. I'm sure when he heard that, if he heard it and realized it, because he was in a lot of distress, I'm sure he felt better knowing that people are saying something. But he would have felt even better if somebody said, I'm going to push this policeman off his neck.